on day 2. We're here back at the convention centre. We're actually quite early. We're like an hour or more early. Going to look at a few things. We've got the NATs, something transnational team things for the different flights. There, we just passed those, and they're going on today. Morning. But we're going for a morning cup of coffee. Coming in early because Miki might get a game. I think there's someone who might be free for the 2-day NABC Plus event that we failed to qualify for because we're still in the Life Master Pairs. We're 54th and 156 qualified, so we're like top third. And all we did was average 54%. We'll need to play better than we did yesterday. I think if we make some of the sloppy things yesterday, we won't get as many gifts today. So we're here at this place called Second Cup, and we're going to order a coffee, and then we're going to show you what the transnationals, the current state of play in that is. So this is where the screens will be in place. If we make the final of the Life Master Pairs, my guess is we'll be in here with all these screens in play or something, or maybe here and maybe another room. There doesn't look to be enough screens, or maybe there is. There might just be enough in here for the final of the Life Master Pairs. If not, they'll probably put some more out or something like that. So this is where we're playing. This is where the GNTs are playing at the moment. America's split into districts, morning, and each district qualifies for teams based on your flight. So this is flight C, this is flight B, flight A, and then the championship one. So you can see that if you just look at the championship one, this is like the open one. These are the best teams. You might recognise some of these names. So I assume that's Harrison Luber, the name Woolsey, Kit Woolsey, and some other people. So I recognise some of the names. Don't know all the people yet. I'm not American. And then you've got different flights A, B, and C, which are restricted based on master points. And some of our friends are in here. I think our friends are all out of the GNTAs. I'm not sure about the Bs, but I know the Cs. We've got Kai. Now, if you remember Kai, he stayed with us last time out. Kai is through to the semi-finals. So 2 more days of play. This is a full day's play here. And then if he makes the final, it'll be a full day's play here, and he might win some sort of title. Musically had Josh Allen in it. So they, 2 friends of ours played each other, and Kai won. And I think there's another team in here that has one of our people in. I think Sun has some Discord people in as well. So maybe we'll get an all Discord final. That'll be good. Some other people you might know. I think Kyle lost yesterday. So Kyle lost yesterday in the A's. So we've got no more in the A's. Kyle lost by about 40 in the A's. And then in the B's, I can't remember which team contained Discord people. I don't think we've got any left in the B's, so we'll see. And so what they do here is all the teams that qualify, they come from different districts. You see what districts they're coming from. So Kai's District 21, District 25, 24, 2, and different regions of America qualified teams. And they play on the first day, which is the Wednesday, I think. They play in like a 1-day Swiss, and so they whittle it down. 1-day Swiss. There'd be about 22 teams or something in this flight, or something like that. Don't know how many districts there are. Well, there's at least 25 districts, so maybe there's 25 teams that are here playing a Swiss, and the top 16 make the knockouts. And Kai won the Swiss, so Kai is seeded first in the knockouts, and it's just a straight knockout. You can't pick your opponents or anything like that, and you just play lots of bridge until someone wins. So this is a really good experience if you're a bridge newbie or a bridge like advanced player or something like that, to enter one of these 2 things and get a game of like proper knockout bridge without just running into like the nickel team first round every time you enter one of these things. So these are really good, and these are held once every year at the Spring Nationals. So here is the event held today. It is much more packed than yesterday, and the main reason is we've got 2 events in the same room. So all the way down to F is our event, so that's about half the room. So we've got 6 sections of 13. We were sat there. Miki was kibitzing. He hasn't got a game today. And then after F, G onwards, is the NABC Plus. So if you walk down again, you see the whole room's full. They've got exactly the right number of tables, it seems. Yeah, we just had the first round. The first board was good. The second board, I'm not sure how good it is. It's going to be middling. I think it's going to be a fairly common result, but I can make another trick, so we'll see how we go from there. But I think above average so far, but only played 2 boards. And the way that these events are done is the sections are seeded. So let's say this is section D. On table 1, which is that table there, you've got Nabil and Wibbly and another good pair, and then every 4 or 5 tables there'll be another kind of good table of people with master points. So I think that's someone Platnik, I can't remember his first name. So that's probably another table where there's some people who have seeded been highly, and then there'll be a table here. So there's Dan Corbell, he'll probably be seeded highly on that table there. And so in the section there'll be 4 tables with all the high seeds, so the 4 highest ranked east-west pairs and the 4th highest ranked north-south pairs will be put staggered throughout the section, so you don't play like 5 good pairs in a row. I say good pairs, I mean 5 pairs with tons of master points in a row, and they're staggered throughout the field. So it's good and bad. It's probably good for everyone and bad for everyone in different ways, so you don't get ridiculously hard sections and ridiculously easy sections, but although every day of this event the sections get harder and harder. So you pick up the following hand. You've got 2 low spades, ace queen to 5 hearts, ace king, so ace queen to 6 hearts, ace king 10 to 5 diamonds, and a void. So you open a heart, it goes pass, and your partner bids the bid you don't think you expect to bid. He bids 2 diamonds, which shows 5 in our system, I think. I'm pretty sure it does. With generic balanced game forces, he can bid 2 clubs, which shows clubs are balanced. So 2 diamonds should show 5. And then the hand on your right jumps, and you're expecting them to jump in clubs, but they jump in spades. They bid 3 spades vulnerable. So, what are your thoughts? Well, you want to investigate 6 diamonds, or even 7 diamonds. But the problem is, 4 clubs would be natural, 5 clubs would be exclusion, but you've got 2 low spades. There's no guarantee partner's not going to lose 2 spades in something, and exclusion might put you too high. 4 ends key card, similar reason you don't want to do that, but because you're playing 2 over 1 game forcing, you can just bid a 4 diamonds forcing bid. So you're just setting diamonds, and on your next turn you're going to try and catch up. The next hand bids 4 spades, vulnerable against not, and your partner bids 5 clubs, which it could just be, it's likely to be natural. It's likely to be some sort of natural thing. He couldn't pass with like a balanced hand with 5 diamonds or something, so it's likely to be, he's maybe going to be 6-4 or 5-5 or something like that. But he's not looking to defend, so obviously he's not got anything in spades, and you've got 2 spades anyway, so partner's not marked on many spades. So whatever happens, you're going to bid 6 diamonds now, because partners, if they're bidding to 4 spades vulnerable, it's likely they've got like a 7-3 fit or a 6-4 fit or something. Maybe partner's even void in spades. But what you've got to try and do is get to 7 when partner has a first round spade control, and you've got very little space. So over 5 clubs, what can you bid? 5 diamonds will be to play. 5 hearts possibly might be the right bid if I bid 5 hearts, but he might think that's to play as well. That's a bit of a worry. So maybe 5 hearts is the bid. 5 spades you can't bid, you haven't got control in spades. And so what I elected to bid was 5N, and that's clearly says I want to be in 6 something, and I think 5N is 2 places to play. But over 5 clubs, over 6 clubs, I was planning to bid 6 diamonds. That's what I did. I bid 5N. Partner bid 6 clubs, offered to play in clubs, and I bid 6 diamonds, which I think must show a grand trio without a spade control, I think. I don't know, maybe 5 hearts is the best bid. I don't know what the best bid is, but partner instantly passed. I was like, oh, okay. So if he thinks about it for a sec, maybe he can get that right. Partner's got stiff ace of spades, ace of clubs, queen to 5 diamonds. He's worried about his queen to 5 diamonds, I think, but like maybe he should just consider it. I mean, he's got king jack of hearts as well. Maybe instead of passing 6 diamonds, he could bid 6 hearts. Maybe if he thinks my 5N is 2 places to play between hearts and diamonds now, maybe 6 hearts scores better. King jack doubleton's pretty good. If I must have 6 hearts to offer, 2 places to play here. So I think as it went, we didn't get the great score. We've got to hope that people in 7 hearts going off, because hearts are 5-0. That's our only hope for a good board here. I can't imagine people not getting to slam. But it's difficult. I don't know what the right bid is, but I definitely think it's a choice, either 5 hearts for me or 5N and 6 diamonds for me. Must be some sort of grand try, missing a spade control. The worry is I'm scared to make bids that couldn't be passed, so 5 hearts I wasn't. Maybe it's me, but maybe it's Beans. But if Beans thinks about it, maybe he should realise to raise. So this was a hand. I've rotated it. I was east, but moved it to south. This is a hand against Boyer and his partner. And we get to 3N, or at least I get to 3N. I opened a club. Partner bids a heart. I bid a no trump. We don't bid a spade here. That would promise an unbalanced hand in our system. So partner would do some sort of check back if they also had 4 spades or thereabouts. So partner jumps to 3 no trumps, and there I play. And they lead the jack of spades. So we haven't got 9 tricks. So partner's got his bid. He's got a good 13 count with a couple of 10s. I've got my opening bid, but for whatever reason we are a bit short in actual tricks. We're going to make a spade, 2 hearts, 4 diamonds, and we can force 1 club. So that's only 8 tricks. So we need to find a 9th trick from somewhere. We've got to do it in hoping that spades aren't too bad. So we lead the jack of spades. And we're just going to gain some information here. So they play the 9, which is encouraging in their system. Now duck it. They play the 10 of spades, which East plays small. So it looks like East has king, queen to 4, or maybe king, queen to 5. So we duck it again in case it's king, queen to 5. And then West plays a 3rd spade. Here we go. So what are we going to do to try and make this? And this is a sort of plan, because it might depend what we throw from dummy here. Obviously, we're not going to throw a diamond, but if our plan is to play on hearts, we probably want to throw a club from dummy. If our plan is to play on clubs, we probably want to throw a heart from dummy. So we're in a position here where we have to decide what to throw away, and we need to think about legitimate lines for extra tricks. Now, if it's queen, jack, doubleton of hearts, somewhere you're just going to make 3 heart tricks, probably. It's unlikely to be a singleton, I think, but it's unlikely to be queen jack doubleton. So what slightly more legitimate chances are there? Well, if you look at the club suit, you've got to set 1 club trick up anyway, and what you're trying to do is set up a 2nd club trick. So you've got ace doubleton. That's one possibility. If someone's got ace doubleton, you can work out who. You can play 1 towards, for example, let's just say that East has ace doubleton. You can play 1 towards your king, and if East has the ace, that'll win. And then you can play 1 back towards the queen, but you don't play the queen, you duck it, and then East's ace will hit thin air. And although they can cash a spade, you now have 2 club tricks, 2 heart tricks, 4 diamonds, and a spade, and you make it. So that's one possibility. The other possibilities are jack 10 doubleton. So if someone's got jack 10 doubleton, that's a possibility. You could play a club to the king and a club to the queen, and if jack and 10 are doubleton, they'll both fall, and your 9 of clubs will be a winning club. Whoever has the ace of clubs. And finally, there is another option as well. You can play for one of them, well, in this particular case, East, to have jack X or 10X. And if you can see how that's going to work, what you'll do is you'd cross to dummy, and you'd play the 8 of clubs. And so we're going to see that in play, but I'll talk about that in a bit more detail. But basically, at this point, I think there are some legitimate holdings in clubs that you can generate an extra club trick legitimately without losing 2 clubs and 3 spades. So we're going to throw a heart away. So we throw a heart away. East plays the queen, and we win the ace. And we need to be in dummy, so we're going to cross to a diamond. So we're in dummy now, and of the club holdings I've mentioned, you've got ace doubleton, you've got jack doubleton, and you've got 10 doubleton with East. Which one is more likely? Well, if you just consider the ace doubleton versus jack and 10 doubleton, because they'll all need different plays, jack or 10 doubleton is twice as likely as ace doubleton, just based on frequency. Just think about it. There's one combination of ace X, but there are 2 combinations of jack X and 10X. Okay, one with jack X, one with 10X. So that's just more likely. So ignoring jack 10 doubleton, and if the jack or the 10 appears on the first club, maybe you play for that. Ignoring jack 10 doubleton, East is more likely to have jack X or 10X than specifically ace X. So we're going to do that. And what we're going to do that is we're going to play the 8 of clubs from the north hand, and we're going to run it. If East plays the jack or the 10, we have to decide whether we're finessing on the way back. But if East doesn't play the jack or the 10, we're playing for East to have jack X or 10X. And if they do, then when we next play a club honour, we will drop their remaining jack X or 10X. So the 8 of clubs is going to lose to West's jack or 10. And then when we play a club to the queen, for example,
it's going to drop East's remaining Jack or 10. That's the principle of it. And this is a legitimate thing. And is it likely to work? Well, West has led a shorter suit than they could have. You know, West must have a longer suit than their 3-card spade suit. So it could be clubs. Or it could be hearts. The reason they might not lead their 4-card suit is because we bid it. So it's likely that West has either 4 clubs or 4 hearts. So not guaranteed, but that's the theory. So if West does have 4 clubs, this seems like a likely opportunity. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to play the 8 of clubs, and we're going to run it small. And I'd caught East out here. The 8 of clubs held the trick. So why is this funny? Well, East could have Ace Jack 10x, which is unlikely, but based on table presence and feel, when the 8 of clubs went small, West thought about the trick, and when West thinks and doesn't play the Jack or 10, West must have the Ace of clubs, and East must have Jack and 10 to 3 or 4. So I managed to effectively con East. East should probably insert the Jack or 10. They're playing their partner for one of the Ace or King of clubs, and they didn't. So we can see the full hand now. We were now able to just knock out the Ace of clubs, and not only did we make our 9 tricks, we made 10. But the legitimate club holdings didn't exist. So I got a bit lucky there. I should be going one off on my line. It should go 8 of clubs, 10, king, ace. And now it's too late to do anything else, I think. I think you might still be able to make it double dummy, but realistically what I'd probably do is play a club back to the 9 and it loses out. So I ended up making this. If you want a little problem there, try and work it out to make 3-no trumps double dummy. It is called on as the cards lie. Miki did spot this when I took it back to the flat, but no one has found my line of running the 8 of clubs yet. I'm not saying it's the best line, but it is legitimate on certain club holdings.
So you have the following hand. You've got Ace Jack 9, Queen 3rd, Queen 10 4th, King 3rd, and your partner, Beans, opens 1 spade. Now, if you don't know about Beans, Beans is a grandpa. Beans is a boomer. Beans doesn't really open light very often, and when he does, obviously, if he's opening light here with like 6 spades and a 10 count or something like that, or 5-5. Hey, Bronya.
All right, we're here.
Woo!
We're here in Toronto. We got tons of people. We're having the best time.
We are indeed. Head of the ACBL or something like that. What are you? Executive director or something?
Executive director.
Sounds really fancy, and she is really fancy. So your 2 choices here are you can show it as a balanced game force by bidding 2 clubs, or you can show it as a 3-card limit raise in spades. And you're kind of betwixt and between. What would you do if partner ends up having a weak no trump? Well, you'd want to play in 3N, I think. And 3N's probably going to have better play than 4 spades, you'd think, if partner's got a weak no trump. And if partner's not got a weak no trump, you want to be playing 4 spades. So what you do is you bid 2 clubs, which shows either a balanced hand or clubs, game forcing. And if partner rebids anything else, you're just going to rebid 4 spades to show like a minimum 3-card 4 spade bid. I mean, you might still have 6 on if partner's really big. But partner over 2 clubs bids 2N. So if partner's got a weak no trump, and we do this as all weak no trump, so he's unlikely to open, we don't open that many 11s. And if he's got 11 with 5 good spades, you're not going to make 4 spades very often. But 3N might have play, especially if they don't lead the right thing. So just race to 3M. You can see the full hands here, and 4 spades has no play. So we've been a bit lucky here, but Bean still has to do well to make 3N. They found the Jack of clubs lead, which is the best lead for the defence. But it stops you playing a club to the king and kind of just losing 5 clubs yourself. So Beans ducks this, and then it goes club to the queen, ace of clubs. And they signal for a dime, and you're like, oh, well, I mean, they're going to have one of the red kings, but they don't, I don't think. At least if they do, they've misdefended. And they played a spade back at trick 4. Well, that's pretty indicative that the hand with the ace queen of clubs has got both red suit kings, because why aren't they playing a red card in the suit they haven't got a king in? So they've probably got both. And now you can cash lots of spades and play a diamond to the 10. And now you make it when various diamond holdings in the case. You can make it when he's got king jack tight, or when they're 3-3 with a jack on side, or when they're 3-3 with a jack on side and he's got king 9 doubleton, lots of diamond holdings, and you can see they were 3-3 with a jack on side, and we make it. So our judgment today has been pretty good. We've been pretty lucky at competing, pushing them up 1 and taking them 1 off. We made a double 2 diamonds for 180. So things are going pretty well. This is probably our best set of the 3 we've played by quite a way. We've got, how many more rounds we've got? Got 4 more rounds, so as long as we don't like mess up this, my guess is we're currently running on 60+%. So that'll be good. That'll kind of take the pressure off the afternoon session, and making it tomorrow is the aim of today. Making it through to tomorrow with a good carryover is better, but let's just try and get a good score here, and then we can worry about the carryover in the second half. Go and film potentially board 3. This is future Steve, where Beans made an extra chicken 3N on an end play, and board 26 where made a dummy reversal and hearts of 4-1. We are halfway through. We're on, the bridge makes it 60%. That felt about right, I think. We're going to get some hand records. First semi-final, there you go, Matt. Go look for someone to go and tweet with. Have a look at some hands. We played pretty well, I think. Did pretty well. It petered out at the end, not in a bad way, just in a, like, we finished with like 4 averages, so you know, we could have got a bigger score if we'd have continued like what we were doing. But you know, if people are good here, they're not going to continue to let you get away with this sort of stuff. So we're going to get something to eat. 60%, unless we have an abysmal set, we're probably through to tomorrow, which is the big goal, I guess. How do you think you played, Matt?
I thought we played pretty well.
Yeah.
It felt like one of those days where every close decision we took was working, which is nice.
Yeah, obviously we weren't flawless, but you know, we had more good than bad. So we're gonna go have a bite to eat. Gonna maybe find someone to go and eat with, or find a new place to go, and then we'll be back at 3 o'clock for set 2.
You are now stepping into the footsteps of the legendary Beans. This is a hand he played in the first set, and he gets 3 no trumps. He goes a spade on his right. He passed. I think I would overcall 2 diamonds, but I'm a bit more aggressive, I think. I protected as north with 2 hearts, and he bids 2 no trumps, which is going to be some sort of like 12 to 14 weak no trump, not good enough to overcall a no trump initially, that sort of thing. And north bids 3 no trumps. Obviously, you don't just want to bid 3 no trumps with this hand, because north might be stretching to protect with 2 hearts. They don't have to have a full 2 heart bid here. They just have to have a hand that doesn't want the auction to die. And they lead the 6 of spades, and you can see your partner's got a full-blooded bid. The king of spades, your partner thought might not be very useful, but it is very useful here. It looks like you now got 3 spade tricks if they ever play another spade. And in terms of number of tricks, are you going to make this? Probably. You can imagine that from the bidding that East has nearly all the remaining high cards. You've got to imagine that they've got both red aces and the queen of spades at least. The king of clubs might be with West if East has the jack of hearts and has got 11 outside the clubs. But it looks like East is probably going to have most of the things here. So if East has most of the things here, they can't really hurt you. East is going to be the one on lead all the time, and there's no real suits they can attack. So we're going to make at least 2 spades, at least 4 diamonds, at least a heart, and at least a couple of clubs. So we're going to make tricks here, but it's match points. So you're trying to make as many as you can. So you win the king of spades perforce, and you play a 10. And obviously you can't really hide your spade holding. East is probably going to know you've got ace jack 10 here, because partner might have led something different from a 4-card suit. And you run the jack of diamonds. Now what you really want is to put pressure on East. And if you run the jack of diamonds like a man taking a finesse, East might duck with the ace doubleton, which is what happens. So it goes jack small small, and the second diamond East wins. Now East is probably in a position here where they don't want to play anything. They definitely don't want to play a spade. It doesn't feel like they want to play a heart away from the ace. If they haven't got another diamond, they're sort of end played here to giving you a free club finesse. So regardless of whether they've got the king of clubs or not, they're probably forced to play a club with the most holdings here, because playing ace and another heart just sets the hearts up. Playing another spade gives you a free spade finesse. So East played a club, and you fly in with the queen, and if West has the king, they should cover it just to set up the 10 or the 9, whoever's got those, and West played low. So we have a pretty good picture of the whole hand now. East probably didn't want to play a spade back, which means they've probably got the queen of spades. East didn't want to play a heart, they've got the ace of hearts. East didn't play another diamond, they haven't got any more left. So we're pretty certain, I mean, we're going to make 9 tricks here. We're pretty certain we're going to get 10 here, as long as we keep a count of the hand. If East has got everything, you can see that you can probably end play them again by playing when near the end of the hand, as long as they haven't got 3 hearts. I mean, even if they've got 3 hearts, they're probably going to get squeezed out of it. you're probably going to end play them in one black suit to give you a trick in the other black suit. That's the theory. So Beans did very well. He saw this fairly quickly. He played this hand very fast. So played a heart to the king or queen and ace. Ace can now return a heart. And so you lose the jack of hearts is still out there somewhere. But we're not going to play on hearts now. We're just going to cash our winners. We're going to watch East and see what they discard. We've got 3 diamond winners to cash, so we're going to do that. East throws a spade. East throws a spade. And if East did have 3 hearts, they're probably going to have to throw the heart now. If Beast has 3 hearts, they've already bared one of their spade on us. So East is going to have to keep 4 cards here. Well, they have to keep Queen X of spades, otherwise you just cash 2 spade tricks. They have to keep King X of clubs, otherwise you cash 3 club tricks. So if they have a heart, they have to throw it away. Or they will have already thrown it away. And at this point, they're going to come down to Queen X and King X probably. So as long as you've been counting the hand and double checking and things, there's only 1 heart left. It's likely the West has got that. You can end play them. So you choose what suit do you want to end play them, or what suit do you think Beans end played them with. Well, he did very well actually. In case they've bared their Queen of Spades, what he did was he played the spades first, because if they've kept King to 3 clubs and stiff Queen of Spades or something, and you play Ace of Clubs club, they might be able to cash 2 clubs. So Beans did very well. They can't have bared their King of Clubs because no one's thrown a club, but they could have bared their Queen of Spades. So Beans played the Ace of Spades. You can see that West didn't have any spades left. But if the spades were 1-1, Beans would have made Ace Jack of Spades. And now he exits with a spade into East's queen. And you can see East is now end played with King 10 of clubs. They played the 10, and you claim the Ace and Jack of clubs at the end. If we just look at the whole hand, you see East is sort of stuffed right from the start. But the best bit about the hand is Beans played the Jack of diamonds like he was taking finesse. He didn't just say low diamond. He went Jack, please. And then the temptation is to duck when you think Declarer's got a guess, but here there's no guess. I think they're always going to play for the Ace of Diamonds if there is a guess, and if partner's got Queen to 3, they're going to make it anyway. So you should probably, with the East hand, you should probably go in with the Ace of Diamonds and play another one back. It's unlikely that South has 6 diamonds, otherwise they would have overcalled, but it doesn't detract from Beans' fine play.
So there is the man. He's coming to find me, I think. I'm just going to show you what this looks like. We're currently in 6th, but this is how you find out what you've done and where you're sat and so on. So you can see that we are there, Steve Rain, Matthew Weingarten. We are 6th overall with a score of that. That's how many platinum points we have, and more importantly, it tells us where you're sat next time. So we're 7 north-south, so we were 7 east-west, 7 north-south. Not always the case, and then you can check your match point scores there. So if you find we were pair 11, I think, we will go down, and that's the east-west section. If you want your north-south section, you go around to north-south first and you can see who's there. And they're all the way down here, and these stay up all week. So if you want to find out how you did yesterday or the day before, you come over here and you kind of just look underneath for other things. So that's what we're doing. So we're going to sit here. Beans is going to be north like a good man, and we're playing Bud and PJ. So it should be a good first match. You've got this hand, and you hear one, it goes past 1 diamond on your right. And the colours are unfavourable. You don't often pick up 9-card suits, so knowing what to do with them is a bit difficult, and you're unfavourable. So if you bid too many clubs and get doubled, you're going for 2, 5, 800 or something like that, depending on whether it's making or not. But what do you need for partner to make 5 clubs here? And that's what I kind of went through. Like, it feels like normally with 8 you might bid 4 clubs here. So with 9 you should bid 5, and how likely is 5 to be the best spot? So let's put partner on an ace, and assuming that they haven't got a defensive club trick, you'd need clubs to be, if you've got 9, they need to be like, someone would have to have 3, and the odds of that happening are pretty low. They're likely to be breaking around the table. Someone's going 2-1-1, 2-2-0, 1-1-2, that sort of thing. So assuming clubs are breaking, what do you need from partner to make this? Well, an ace, is that good enough? Yeah, if they've got a red ace, you've got a spade finesse to make it. If they've got the ace of spades, you've just got 11 top tricks. So it's just an automatic 5 club bid. And if your partner has passed, and now you need to think about what happens if partner hasn't got an ace. So let's say that partner's not got a trick for you, or at least an extra trick for you. What are they making? Well, let's say partner's got nothing, no entry to his hand and whatever, you might then have to lose 2 red aces and you might have to play away from your spade. So worst case scenario, going for 500. But if partner's got nothing for you, like not even the queen of spades, they might be missing 6 here, 6 diamonds, 6 hearts, whatever. So there might be times when 5 clubs is the wrong bid, but I think more often than not it's the right bid, and it was the right bid on the hand because there's the full hand. It went pass, double. He's done really well to double, not having too much, and then it went pass. I think the hand in the west seat is a bit difficult. It's a bit difficult to bid 5 hearts knowing it's going to be making. You don't necessarily know partners got to be voiding clubs. You don't. And so we put the pressure on, and they looked at the vulnerability and they lick their lips and they think, oh, maybe it'll go for 500. So even if they are making, 5 hearts, if this is going for 500, if I've not got my bid, then they passed it. So, sometimes when you think about preempting, thinking about if partner's got nothing, what happens, and if partner's got a trick, what happens, and if partner's got 2 tricks, what happens, and I think about what happens in your contract and what happens in theirs. What is the contract you're competing with when you preempt? So not often you have that many in a particular suit, but I did, and we're only really losing to people who pass it out rather than double. Got 1 round to go. We'll see what percentage we get on. I think we've qualified, but I think we've nowhere near done as well as we did earlier. Not too many huge mistakes, just 2 bad ones. Both poor bidding from me that have got us to bad spots. But you have this hand. This also didn't go so well. You have singleton ace, queen 10 fourth, ace 10 fourth, jack fourth, and the bidding goes 1 diamond on your left, 1 spade on your right. So you double to show hearts and clubs. You're happy for partner to compete up, to whatever level they feel like they can compete with. You've got some nice shape here. You've got 4-4-1, couple of bullets. You're happy for partner to compete, and if partner whacks one of their games or something, well then you've got 2 tricks for him or something. So this goes 2 diamonds on your left, pass, 4 spades on your right. They jump to 4 spades. Pass. And the question is, at match points, what should you lead and why? Or what would you lead at match points? So you've got 4 suits you can lead. You could try and give partner a diamond ruff, maybe play ace of diamonds diamond. You could lead the ace of spades to have a look at dummy to maybe decide which suit to play. You could play away from your queen of hearts. You could play away from your jack of clubs. And they're your 2 suits. Now partner didn't bid either of those suits, and so there's a chance potentially that you might need to lead a heart and you lead a club, or you might need to lead a club and you lead a heart, or you might need to not lead either of them and switch to diamonds. So with that in mind, I led the ace of spades, and I don't know whether that's the right thing or the wrong thing to do. And when dummy comes down, I was actually glad I did, because I didn't know which of clubs and hearts to lead. Usually I would lead a heart. I would rather lead from the queen 10 fourth than jack empty to 4 clubs, personally. So you would usually lead a heart, but when dummy comes down, it looks right to switch to hearts, probably. I lead the ace of spades, and you can see what dummy has. Dummy has singleton jack, 2 low, 6 solid missing the ace, and ace king to 4 clubs. So what you're looking now is, for 1, a signal from partner. We play suit preference in trumps here. Partner should just be giving me a signal which to switch to. And number 2, you now know a heart is probably better than the club. It looks like we need to set some heart tricks up before they knock out your ace of diamonds and throw some things away in the diamonds. So a trick to on the ace of spades, partner plays like 7 or something, which is suit preference for heart 8, he says. He stood next to me, and so I switched to a heart. Partner's got the king, brilliant. And then they drew trumps. Partner had a few of them, but they drew all of partner's trumps. Partner started with 5 spades, and then they played a diamond up. So I'm like, well, it's going to take the ace in case it's a singleton, and I'm going to cash the queen of hearts before everything goes away and dummy's winners. 10 tricks. We caught our heart. Clara's got the jack. But look at the full hand. Partner, if he thinks for a while, might work out for me to play a club. If you see what happens when we switch to a club or lead a club at trick 1, If we lead a club at trick 1, we cut communication to dummy completely. If we switch to a club after the ace of spades, we do that. If at trick 1 I lead a club, well, it's beating it. But if at trick 1 I lead a heart, it beats it too. It goes heart to the king and ace, and I can play later on when I get in, I can play queen of hearts and give partner a heart ruff because I still haven't used the ace of spades. So I think that's a bit unlucky. Whether Bean should work out to play a club, that feels a bit deep. Signal for club, that feels a bit deep. But he knows I've got 4 clubs. He knows that Declare is probably, on the ace of spades lead, Declare is probably at least 6-4 with a singleton club. So maybe a club cuts the clubs out, and then maybe I can work out to look a diamond. Or if Declare is 6-5 in this case, Beans needs to know I have to play a club. Even though Beans has got the king of hearts, if we're trying to beat this, a club is needed. So it's a bit deep from Beans, but obviously if I just lead one of my rounded suits at trick 1, we beat it. So I'm not necessarily saying what I did was a mistake or what Beans did a mistake, but it all contrived to let it make when lots of other things we could have done would have beaten it. We qualified quite easily. We're 13th. We got a 54% in our section. Don't know whether that's different. 13th out of 156 was it made it today, so that's pretty good for a day's play. Our carry over wasn't huge going into today, but it'll be decent going into tomorrow. My guess is we'll start with 2 tops ish because the winner's going to start with 3, and so if we start with 2, we'll be alright. So we'll go into tomorrow in 13th place with a couple of tops above the bottom pair, and then just do what we can. I think if we play like we played in the first set today, we've got a chance of podiuming. We did well this afternoon. So that's it for me. We're going to see if anyone's going to socialise a bit, because I was looking for people last night and then everyone started to go away and have a meal with a client or something, so there was no one around. So we'll see if someone's going out tonight. We'll just go out for maybe one. Miki made some bolognese, so we'll go home and eat that. But yeah, on to day 3 of the Life Master Pairs, again like we did last year.